Tree responses. Tree physiology occurs on a cellular level. Tree physiology is the ability of trees to sense the environment and adjust accordingly. Tree response strategies depend on quick and reliable recognition systems. Examples of stimuli which trees perceive and can react to include the reaction responses listed below: light, temperature, water, carbon dioxide concentration. Light. In trees, blue light wavelengths can be used to cue developmental signals. Many tree organs contain photosensitive compounds, phototropins, cryptochromes, phytochromes, and the hormone euxin, each reacting very specifically to blue wavelengths of light. These light sensors tell the tree if it's day or night, how long the day is, how much light is available, and from where the light is coming. Leaves turn direction to maximize sunlight exposure. Shoots grow towards light and roots usually grow away from light. Many trees exhibit certain phenomena at specific times of the day. Light is a form of electromagnetic radiation that shows properties of both waves and particles. It is a form of energy. Temperature. In response to extremes of temperature, trees can produce various proteins. As temperatures fall, production of antiphase proteins and dehydrins increase. These protect the tree from the damaging effects of ice formation and falling rates of enzyme catalyze and low temperature. As temperatures rise, production of heat shock proteins increases along with increased photorespiration at high temperatures. Metabolic imbalances associated with temperature extremes result in the build-up reactive oxygen species, which can be countered by antioxidant systems. Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles of a substance. Water. The ability of trees to access water depends on the structure of their roots and on the water potential of the root cells. If there is too little water, tissues will dehydrate and the tree may die. In very dry soil, trees close their stomata to reduce transpiration and prevent water loss. The closing of the stomata is often mediated by chemical signals from the root. As well as closing their stomata, most trees can also respond to drought by altering their water potential or osmotic adjustment and increasing root growth. Also, too much water can also damage trees. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and it is exists in liquid and solid states. Carbon dioxide concentration. Carbon dioxide is vital for tree growth as it is the substrate for photosynthesis. Trees take in carbon dioxide through stomata forced on their leaves. This trade-off between carbon dioxide gain and water loss is central to tree productivity. The concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is rising due to deforestation, global warming, and the combustion of fossil fuels. This will be expected to increase the efficiency of photosynthesis and possibly increase the overall rate of tree growth. Furthermore, reduced tree productivity will be expected to accelerate the rate of global warming. Overall, these observations point to the importance of avoiding further increases in atmospheric carbon dioxide rather than risking runaway climate change.
Wind. So what is wind? Wind is air in motion. Air moves from a region of high pressure to one of low pressure. So the difference due to unequal heating of the atmosphere. So the main impact of wind on trees is through its influence on the canopy, which in turn influences the way leaves regulate moisture, heat, and carbon dioxide. When no wind is present, a layer of still air builds up around each leaf. This is known as the boundary layer and effectively insulates the leaf from the environment, providing an atmosphere rich in moisture and less prone to convective heating or cooling. As wind speed increases, the leaf environment becomes more closely linked to the surrounding environment. It may become difficult for the tree to retain moisture as it is exposed to dry air. On the other hand, moderately high wind allows the tree to cool its leaves more easily when exposed to full sunlight. Trees are not entirely passive in
Three growth regulators. All living organisms begin in the same form, as a single cell. That cell will divide and the resulting cells will continue dividing and differentiate into cells with various roles to carry out within the organism. This is life and trees are no different. Plant growth can be determinate or indeterminate, meaning some plants will have a cycle of growth, then a cessation of growth, breakdown of tissues, and then death, with other will grow and remain active for hundreds of years. Tree growth regulator is an application in which a technical will apply a product around the base of the tree to be absorbed by the roots and taken up into the plants. This application helps to gently slow the growth of trees by allowing them to redirect energy from outward growth of, of the canopy to strengthening root growth. Tree enzymes. Genetic information directs the synthesis and development of enzymes, which are critical in all metabolic processes within the tree. Most enzymes are proteins in some form or another. They are produced in very minute quantities and are produced within the tree. Vitamins are vital in the activation of enzymes and produced in the cytoplasm and the membrane of tree cells. Tree hormones. Genetic information also regulates the production of hormones. The major difference is that hormones are transported from one part of the plant to another as needed. In general, hormone or vitamin effects are similar and are difficult to distinguish in trees, and both are referred to in general as tree growth regulators. Hormones are chemical messengers that affect a tree's ability to respond to its environment. Hormones are organic compounds that are effective at very low concentration. They are usually synthesized in one part of the plant and are transported to another location. Botanists recognize five major groups of hormones: auxins, gibberellins, ethylene, cytokines, abscisic acid. Auxins are hormones involved in plant cell elongation, apical dominance, and rooting. A well-known natural auxin is indoleacetic acid or IAA, which is produced in the apical meristem of the shoot. Indoleacetic acid or IAA is a molecule that is synthesized by plants and a few microbes. NAA is a synthetic plant hormone in the auxin family and it an ingredient in many commercial plant rooting horticultural products. It is a rooting agent and used for the vegetative propagation of plants from stem and leaf cutting. It is also used for plant tissue culture. Synthetic auxins. Chemists have synthesized several inexpensive compounds similar in structure to IAA. Synthetic auxins like naphthalene, acetic acid of NAA are used extensively to promote root formation on stem and leaf cutting. When when NAA is sprayed on young fruits of apples and olive trees, some of the fruits drop off to that the remaining fruit grow larger.
Topic: Gabrielians to other growth regulator. Gabrielians and the 1980s, scientists in Japan discovered that a substance produced by fungus Gabrielia caused fungus-infected plants to grow abnormally tall. The substance named was later found to be produced in small quantities by plants themselves. So it has many effects on a plant, but primarily stimulates elongation growth. Almost all seedless grapes are sprayed with Gabrielians to increase the size of the fruit and the distance between fruits on the stems. Ethylene, the hormone ethylene, is responsible for the ripening of fruits. Unlike the other four classes of plant hormones, ethylene is a gas at room temperature. Ethylene gas discusses easily through the air from one plant to another. Ethylene is usually applied in a solution of etopon, a synthetic chemical that breaks down and releases ethylene gas. So it is used to ripen bananas, honeydew, melons, and tomatoes. Cytokines root cell divisions in plants. Produce and developing shoots, roots, fruits, and seeds of a plant. Cytokines are very important in the culturing of plant tissues and the laboratory. Abscisic acid. Abscisic acid or ABA generally inhibits other hormones such as the auxin IAA. ABA helps to bring about dormancy in a plant's buds and maintains dormancy in its seeds. This causes stoma to close and water is held in the leaf. It is too costly to synthesize ABA for commercial agriculture use. Other growth regulations. Many growth regulators are widely used on ornamental plants. These substances do not fit into any of the five classes of hormones. For example, utility companies all over the country apply growth retardants to trees in order to prevent them from interfering with overhead utility lines. So it is less expensive to apply these chemicals that to prone the trees, not to mention safer for the utility workers.